Now look what's happened here. And you know, this whole vision of La La Land, it's inspired not only by great MGM musicals or Gene Kelly and It's Always Fair Weather, Singing in the Rain, whatever. Also, Jacques Demy. You know, what was your thinking here in creating La La Land? Because nobody would think that the musicals of Jacques Demy, The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, and The Young Girls of Rochefort, and all of this is suddenly going to turn into a movie that is now heading toward $150 million gross just in the United States alone.
Well, thank you. The thing for me was that, and I think it has something to do a little bit with when I fell in love with musicals. I've loved movies my whole life, but the musical as a genre was something I resisted for a little bit. As a kid, I was more into Hitchcock than Stanley Donen, and then actually, ironically, it was when I was a student making documentaries, because that was really those were the first movies I kind of did in terms of actually making movies, were kind of cinema verite, 60mm camera on the shoulder documentaries. And that was around the same time that I just started kind of rewatching a lot of the old Fred and Ginger movies or old Hollywood musicals, or discovering the Jacques Demy musicals. And what I think I found that I hadn't noticed before was that there was this incredible, what was beautiful about the older musicals was the ways in which they used fantasy to comment on the real world, that it wasn't pure fantasy, it wasn't just the fluff that I'd kind of remembered it as. And I think that got me interested. My way in was really, okay, is there a way to take those musicals and push the realism even further? Shoot them on real streets, shoot them in a modern city, give these kind of numbers to characters who feel just like you or me, who don't feel like they're about to break into song at any given moment.
Which we are about to do.
little do I know. And try to combine documentary with musical, a little bit. It was that kind of oxymoron was what fascinated me. And Jacques Demy, I think, is one version of that, So I wanted to try to do a modern version of that, pushing the realism even further. And that's kind of where Guy Madeline, that's where La La Land came from, for sure.
I would say you had me at hello when I saw this movie, all by myself in a screening room initially. And I'm looking at it, and there is this kind of logo for Summit, which is like the old RKO Pictures logo. And then the screen widens, it sort of says cinema something, but it widens to CinemaScope. You're a big fan of CinemaScope, right? Yeah, and that kind of movie music.
Yeah, I mean, I think also I'm a big fan of not taking whatever kind of type of movie you're making, to not take the form for granted, that everything is a choice. If you shoot in color, it's a choice. If you shoot widescreen, it's a choice. If you shoot stereo sound, it's a choice. All those things were choices when they were new, So CinemaScope was this brand new idea at a moment. Now we kind of expect every movie to be a certain amount of widescreen. Color was also this thing that, it's something I find in the old Technicolor movies. You feel how novel color was. You feel this, kind of emphasis on finding the expressive potential behind color, as opposed to just, oh, that's how we see the world, and black and white is the choice, So I think I just kind of liked the energy a little bit of, you see it in the French New Wave, obviously, and you see it in some movies of that era. I think you see it in some of the 90s, indie movies, like the early Tarantino movies or Paul Thomas Anderson movies, just that kind of go for broke, reveling in the medium, and being aware of the medium. So to me, it was just kind of trying to have a little bit of that energy. And if you're going to make a color movie, make it really bleeding colors. If you're going to make it widescreen, really go for it. If you're going to, just to try to take the choices as far as you can take them.
Well, we're going to show another clip now from La La Land, but I bring along a prop here. And
I was wondering what was in this bag, because I was watching from backstage, and it looked like you had brought a sandwich or something.
This is a great theater, the Arlington Theater. This is the old kind of theater where they would have this kind of stuff that you'd put up here. And this, here, grab the end of this, and we're going to show, and maybe it'll be upside down because I'm doing this mic. No, it's upside down, so here we have to, here, grab that side, grab this, there you go. Okay. We're gonna show this clip in CinemaScope. Yes, isn't this cool?
That's
all
beautiful.
Right, let's take a look at La La Land.